Hi everyone, welcome to today's tutorial, and today I will be covering two tools, namely the Note tool and the Count tool. Now these two tools are actually the most underused tools in Adobe Photoshop, and it's not used that much by us designers mainly because it's extremely boring and it's too easy for us to use as well. So I'll first show you as to how you can use these two tools, and I'm going to tell you later as to where you can use these tools, right? So without further ado, let's dive right in. So as you can see that I have already opened up my first image right here. So it's of this model with red hair, and she's wearing a white dress, and she is surrounded by leaves, right? So the first tool that I will be showing you all is the count tool, first one right here. Okay, so as you can see that as soon as I've selected my tool right here, my cursor gets changed like this, and I can see this one plus sign right here. Okay, so what I can do is that I'll be you can make some selections like this on a hair first, like this. That's and you can see that there are 4 points on a hair. So similarly over here on the top you can see that it says count 4, and you can also group these counts together in separate groups, right? So if you come over here you can see that the first 4 points that we have made, it's by default it gets grouped and it's being named together as count group 1, right? So we can of course double click on this. So of course, if I want to rename this count group, so I can just select this option right here which says rename, and I can give a different name to my group over here. So instead of count group 1, let's rename it to hair, like that. Okay. Now I want to make more selections, but I want it in a separate group, right? So you can easily do that by selecting this folder type icon right here, which is right next to this I option, right? So you select this, and as you can see, this automatically this box pops up which is telling you to rename your second group. So I'm going to rename my second group to be white dress, and I'm going to make some selections on her white dress as well, like this. So you can make as many selections as you want, and as you can see that I have made total 10 points over here. There's total of 10 count, and you can see it's right over here. So it's showing 14 because of course there are already 4 existing points on her hair plus 10 other points on her dress, like that. Okay, so this was the second one. So now what if I want to make another group? And we can easily do that by selecting this icon right here which says create a new count group. And of course, as you might have guessed it, we can rename this again to leaves. And of course, you can make as many selections as you want, like that. Yeah. So then it automatically gets saved and the total count is 34, right? So this count tool becomes extremely handy if you want to make specific changes in your image, right? So for example, I want the hair to be like for example, I want the color of the hair to be changed to some other color, right? So if I send this document to my friend, to my designer friend, and I tell him that, I want her hair, which is from point number 1 to point number 4 to be of a different color, he or she will easily see where all the points you have made, right? So, but for example, if I tell my designer friend, or if a client tells me that, for example, I want the leaves background colors to be changed, so he can easily specify from which point to which point he wants the background leaves colors to be changed that way, right? So that's how the count tool is used. So it becomes extremely useful to point out which as to which points has to be changed, or if there's any object that needs to be removed, you can easily do that. If there's any particular color change that needs to be happened, you can easily do that by specifying the count numbers from here, and it becomes a lot easier to also mention which group you are talking about that ways, right? So in case if you also decide to print this image out, the numbers will not show at all, right? It's only in the digital form. If you are seeing it right now, if I send it to a colleague, they will be able to see all those points right here. Okay, so this was the count tool. Now moving on to the next tool, which is the note tool. I'm going to be showing you how the note tool works in a separate image like here. So as you can see, I already opened up this. I already have this underwater image opened up, right? So my note tool is right here, okay, which is right above the count tool. So the note tool actually is extremely similar to the count tool, except it's a little different. So for example, I make one note over here and I'm going to change the color to blue right here. Okay. Then over here in the note, I can say like change the color of the sea, like that. Okay. So similarly in the count tool, you could add like different count numbers here, right? Similarly over here, you can add as many notes as you like. So for example, I added another point over here on this big boulder, and I'm going to change the color of this boulder as well. So I'm going to make it brown, maybe like this. Okay. So over here, if I double click, then I'm going to, again, like you can write any note of your choice. You can write any type of small text. Let's say, make this boulder, or let's just rename this. Let's just rename this. Let's make this rock more darker, right? So that's how it is. So this note tool again becomes extremely handy, especially for a client if they want specific changes that needs to be made on the image or on the illustration, right? So for example, if they want a specific thing or a specific object to be removed, they can easily use this note tool, and then the designer can easily access these notes and see what's written inside each note, right? So that's the note tool. And again, when you get this image printed out, these notes icon will not be showing when it gets printed. It's only the digital form. If you've used the note tool or if you've used the count tool, then it shows. And well, yeah, that's about it. So this was the note tool and how you can use the count and the note tool. So yeah, so thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.